Whitey Show.
The Whitey Show, the Whitey Show.
Whitey Show.
I'm the review who loves to say son of a bitch. The same review who hates most Nintendo shit. I'm the one who calls games what they are. I even own the 360 and hate Gears of War. Guy who spends his money on games, fucking cards. Just a funny guy who became a YouTube star. When picking up Afro Samurai, my biggest fear was, oh no, another anime game, half-assed job just to get money. Safe to say, Afro Samurai does a good job. It's a well-made game. It's not amazing, and I'll tell you why. It does have flaws, but in the end, it's very fun. So before you just kick it and say, oh, it's another half-assed made game, how about you check out this review, and if you like what you see, check it out. Afro Samurai for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3.
I ain't scared of heights. It's the ground that kills you.
Afro Samurai story is pretty basic. As a kid, you watch your father duel Justice. Justice is the main villain of the series, and he's done by Ron Perlman, kick-ass voice acting. Anyway, Afro Samurai, once he gets older, wants revenge. He needs to get the number 2 headband to fight number 1. Pretty basic math, guys. Come on. So it's a pretty simple story, but with well done voice acting, it definitely helps. The sad thing is that the story is like all over the place in this game, and unless you watch the anime, you'll probably be a little confused. But all in all, the story is easy enough to follow. Great voice acting. It just needed some work on how it was done and presented for the people who never seen the anime.
Wait, hey, is that supposed to be? Your reputation precedes you. Ugly son of a bitch, ain't he? They got that right. I especially like how they captured the sadness in your eyes.
The graphics. This is kind of hard to review for me. I love the style of the graphics. It looks great. When you cut people in half, it looks anime / cartoon / comic style. It does look amazing in that regard. What the problem I have with it is the raw power. It could have done so much better. After playing Prince of Persia and even the Naruto game for the PS3, you can see that this is not the full power of cel-shaded anime type graphics. It does a good enough job to get the job done, and watching blood spray everywhere, even in anime style, is awesome. But when you're fighting in midst and these guys are yelling out stuff and you don't see their mouth move, come on, a little more raw power, it would have been great. But the style kicks ass.
You saw that, right? This some fucked up shit right here. I'm gonna go get some coffee. Keep an eye on that bullshit for me, will you? Go! I think I'm gonna take the rest of the day off.
The gameplay is probably the hardest part to review, simply because it has a lot of good things and a few flaws. Let me get the flaws out of the way. One is the camera. The camera work is a little spazzy. I mean, if you play Ninja Gaiden 2 or Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry or any action game, you're used to this, so it's not a huge deal. I just wish the controls weren't inverted. I mean, I'm not used to that, so it's kind of hard to get used to for the first 20 minutes or so, but it's pretty simple after that, but the camera still needed some work. Besides that, the amazingly cheap / hard bosses that they throw at you. Some bosses aren't a problem. Some are actually a lot of fun to fight. As you're watching now, I'm going to show a clip. And then some are just, oh, like you want to grab the fucking controller, throw it in the air, and samurai slash that fucking controller. That's how pissed off you'll get. There are ways to beat it. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying the way you have to do it, it's bullshit. They should have tested it out, made some sort of little weakness so you can at least get in there instead of getting hit by a flamethrower 6 or 7 times in a row without one slash from you. You'll see what I mean when you play it, but really, that's the only problem. Let's hit up the good. First of all, the combat is very fluid, very nice. It's easy to use, yet there's enough combos in there to show a lot of depth. I'm not saying it's Virtual Fighter, but it is well done, and I could put it next to Devil May Cry definitely, and Ninja Gaiden, no problem. The slowdown feature is great. When you're about to attack and you want to finish an enemy, you slow down time, you hold the X button or the Y button, and then you finish them, and it slices them in half, slices their feet off, slices their arm off, slices the top of their head off. It's just that you can slice all these different parts off, and like say they're jumping in midair, you'll slice their arm and then leg off in one swoop where the rest of the body's still intact, and it'll fall over and die. It's just amazing. It's awesome, and it needs to be in every action game. I love cutting off different pieces of the body. I mean, Ninja Gaiden 2 did it too, but in this game it just feels perfect. Like, you know when you slice off their arm and leg and so on. You also have a lot of different combos, such as pouncing on an enemy, jump on them, and slash their head off. You have the block button. You have all the basic combos in terms of action game, and they all do it really well. The platforming, I just don't get the beef with the platforming. It's very simple platforming and very easy to do. There's only one part that's even a slightly hard, and it's not even that hard. Okay, it takes, you calm down, you do it, and it's over. There's no platforming that'll make you throw the game out. I didn't suffer any of that. The frame rate's pretty good. The only time it drops is when it's basically loading a lot of enemies, but it never dropped in terms of combat, so that's good. Really, the only complaints are the ones I said, the camera and some of the cheap AI. The combat is very fun to use, very easy. It can get repetitive, but I'm saying any game can get repetitive. If you like what you're doing, it's going to keep you entertained, and Afro Samurai kept me entertained, and slicing enemies never got old. The enjoyability section is probably the hardest hit on Afro Samurai, simply because the length. It's only about an 8-hour game. If you want to beat it on hard afterwards, maybe you add an extra 6-7 hours or more if you get stuck. And to get all the achievements, the total amount you'll probably put on this is 20 hours if you want to get everything. Probably less, to be honest. And there's no online, no co-op, nothing really to keep you playing after you finish the story mode on normal and hard. So, all in all, it may not be a must-buy for most, but it is definitely a must-rent, in my opinion. I want everybody to check this out if you're an action fan or if you like Afro Samurai. Whether you rent it or buy it, that's up to you. Fans of neither of those, action nor Afro Samurai, you probably won't find any fun in this. Luckily, I'm a fan of both action, anime, and Afro Samurai, so I'm enjoying it quite a lot. But I see the faults, the length, the camera, the cheap-ass AI, but it's still a well-made action game and fun to play. So, in the words of Samuel L. Jackson, let's do this, motherfucker!
You're still just a child playing make-believe in your daddy's clothes. You beat him! Please. He let you win. Walk away, Afro. He's still trying to control you. He sacrificed himself to show you what it means to be truly alone. But you ain't alone. You got me now. Well, put it on, fool! Time to go! Any objections? And so it begins.